All right, hello once again. This is Jeff Scott from Jeff Teaches Programming. In the last video, as you can see on your screen, we talked a little bit about object-oriented programming design, or OO design. So now what we're going to do is we're going to try to put that into practice. So what I have done is I've made a copy of the last program that we worked with, which was the 8th iteration, and it is now the 9th iteration. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is come in and I'm going to add an iPerson interface. So I'm going to put that into here. In fact, to be safe, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to these classes here. I think the person repository isn't going to change at all, but this one here, I'm going to copy this. And I'm going to make this BMI calculator base. So don't worry about it. I've got an error there. We'll fix that later. That's not a big thing. All right, so it'll be BMI calculator base. So I've got that now. And I'm going to just file, save all, and I'm going to immediately just close that. And my person, I'm going to make a copy of that. When I go back and rechange the name, that should fix everything. And we're going to call this person base. I don't think, like I said, I'm going to need to do that much for the iRepository, but we'll see. If I have to, I'll make one for that as well. So again, file, save all, and I'm going to close that one as well. All right, now I'm going to come in here and I'm going to add a new file. So I'm going to add a new item, show all templates. There's an interface. There we go. So it's an interface. I'm going to let the system know that. And this is going to be an iPerson interface, I-P-E-R-S-O-N. All right. So there's iPerson. I don't know how we got iPerson 1 in there, but we did. So I want to change that. Let's rename it right away. Just get that 1 out of there. There we go. All right. In fact, let's put a couple of comments in here. I don't think we're going to need any of this stuff. If we do, we'll put it back in. But I'm going to put in some comments here. All right. So this interface will define what a person object must, we'll say, expose to the outside world. As it is an interface, it will have no implementation. Okay, so let's go write this. It's going to look somewhat similar to what we did before, but that's okay. So string, first name, in fact, we want the capital F, and it'll be a getter. And it is a getter because we want to be able to have control. You know, it's read-only, so we want to have some control over what we're able to do with it. So we're going to have an int here, which is going to be height. Another one for weight. All right, a double for BMI. And a string for our BMI status. All right. And that's all we're going to put in there. Okay, that's it. Get rid of that. So, File. Let's do a save all on this. And I'm going to grab that explanation. Don't have to, but I am going to anyway. All right. And let's do another one here. So let's right mouse click, add, again, a new item. Again, it'll be an interface. And this will be called BMI calculator. Okay, just like before, we're going to remove that. And as I said, I'm going to try to grab this, so copy, and I only want part of it, but that's okay. So this interface will define or be our contract for the services a BMI calculator will provide to the program. Again, as it is an interface, it'll have no implementation. All right. Again, this will look at least somewhat similar to what we did yesterday or before. So this will be a double. Calculate BMI. We'll have a height, and we'll have a weight. All right. Plus, we'll have a string for our get BMI status, and we'll pass in the BMI. Now, that's it for this, but I want to quickly explain what we're doing and why we're doing it. All right? Now, you'll notice what that's saying is any class that inherits or implements this interface will have to provide these two methods. But if we end up changing the way BMI is calculated or changing the way the status is done, all right, I won't have to make changes to the class. I only will have to change the interface because that's the contract, as we said up here. So I'm going to grab this again. All right. And I'm going to come back in here again, right mouse click, and I'm going to choose Add, New Item. I'm going to again add an interface. And this will be iRepository. It's a person repository, so iPerson repository. All right. Again, don't need this. All right. And like I said before, I'm going to just come over by this calculator. And I'm going to grab this. And I'm going to copy it into here. All right. So this interface will define or be our contract for, we'll call it for storage services. For our BMI console application program. Again, as it is an interface, it will have no implementation. So what are we putting in here? Well, basically what we want to be able to do here, so we're going to have a void, add, we're going to have a list. I think we called it get people. We'll find out. We're going to have a void for a clear, which doesn't take anything. And we're going to have a Boolean, which is an is empty, and it's going to be read only. All right, that's it for this repository. So now if we were to go in and make changes to how we do an add to add a person to our person list, or to clear our person list, or to check if a person list is empty, now the way that I'm able to do this is by changing the interface. All right? So, again, may not seem like a big thing right now, but I don't know. Hopefully it does, at least somewhat. All right. Let's go in here, and we're going to do a couple things. I want to be able to use what I have in here. All right, I want to be able to use what I have in here for both programs without having to make changes to the program 8. So I'm going to add some files in here. All right, such as, well, I want to have some abstract classes in here. Now I could break these up. I could have put a folder in here called interface or interfaces. That might have been better. I could have another folder called abstract classes. Maybe I should do that. I'm not going to. So I'm going to come in here to my BMI Live, and I'm going to add a new class. And I'm going to call this person base. All right. It says a file with person base already exists, so I guess I've already created it. Do I want to replace it? Cancel. So let's cancel here. Let's go and grab our person base. I guess I already put that in, and that's good. So let's rename this. All right. Now, you'll notice it's giving me an error, and it says it already contains a definition for person base. All right. So we got public class person base, public person base. Try to figure out what it doesn't like, and it's probably not difficult, but let's just see. Now, let's do this. We're going to say that this person base inherits from, or in our case, implements an I person. All right, now it doesn't like that either, so we're going to have to go in and fix this. But let's see what we've got going on here. I'm going to remove everything that's in here, everything. And hopefully that's going to get rid of the errors that we had. All right, so let's see. It says it already contains something for person base. Well, it should be, because that's right here. Let's do this. Let's just do this, because it'll make it a lot easier. Let's delete this. All right, and I'm going to come in here and I'm going to add a new class. Hopefully that's going to fix it, but to be sure, I'm going to have to come out here. And if I've got a person base, I'm going to have to remove these. So let's do this. I actually want it my BMI lib. So person calculator base is gone. And that's good. So let's see if it's gone in here as well. Gone in there too. All right. So let's come in. Let's right mouse click, choose add. We're going to add a new class. And we're going to call this person base. All right. Now don't worry. We're getting an error. Let's see if that error goes away in a minute. All right. So we want to say that this implements I person. We're getting the same doggone errors we had before. It says the namespace already contains a definition for person base. Well, this will be an abstract class, and that didn't change anything. I'm going to start on this and see if it works its way out, for lack of better words. And we're going to put in here person base is an abstract class, and as such, person base cannot be instantiated. All right. All right. So we've got that. Let's just get going. So these will be the properties that are shared by all people. Public string, first name. It'll again be a get, but we want this to be able to be changed. So where we have get set here, we want to be able to have this change, but we want this to be able to be changed only by child classes. This class or child classes. So I'm going to copy this. Don't worry, I'm going to get errors because they all exist already. I thought I would, but we'll have last name. We'll have an int for height. We'll have an int for weight. Come on. All right. And a public string for BMI status, and it'll be the same way. All right. That's all we're going to put in here. Now, I'm trying to figure out why I'm still getting this error. And my guess is because I made those goofy copies, and I should not have done that, someplace in here, it is still recognizing that those exist. So let's see. And I don't want that. I want this. All right, we're going to do this. I'm going to change the name and see if that fixes it. It may not. Instead of person base, I'm going to change the name of this to person abstract. Not sure what the problem is. Class, person, abstract, I person. That's all correct. Yes. I got a feeling I'm going to keep getting this error, so let's see where I am for time. I'm at 21 minutes. I'm going to stop, see if I can figure this out, and come back with hopefully the answer shortly. Thanks.